Hi guys. Okay, if you hear music, it's the people next door. Of course, they had to like actually start playing it like right before I'm gonna film. So that's that. Since I last filmed, I literally read 2 full books. I finally finished The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is the book that we're gonna talk about right now. It was actually so much better than I expected, and it's not at all what I thought it was gonna be. I had seen that book at the bookstores forever. Like, it came out in 2017, but I think it just barely started getting like very popular. I think like in 2021 or like 2020. And I didn't really like care for it. It didn't really like appeal to me. But then I searched if they had it in the library, and they did. And I was like, you know what? Let me just read it and get it over with. Let me see what the hype is all about. And I get the hype now, you guys. I get it. So that's what we're gonna review today. This review is not gonna be long anyway. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and this is my library book version by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So upon initially seeing this book, I thought this was going to be about some girl who literally has 7 husbands like simultaneously. This is not at all what the book is about. I know like the title can be misleading, but like it's not that. So basically, spoilers ahead. Basically this was written very well, and I think the characters felt pretty raw and pretty real. So it starts off present day. Like I said, spoilers ahead. So it starts off present day. This girl named Monique, she works for this, what was it, not like a blog, but it was like a magazine or something like that. I'm probably butchering it, but anyway, she works in the writing field. Okay, she's like a journalist. And so there's this famous actress named Evelyn Hugo, who basically reaches out to the company that she works for, the company that Monique works for, and says, I'll only do the photo shoot, and I'll only do a interview or whatever if Monique is the one doing it for me. If it's anyone but her, like if you guys trick me into doing it with someone else, it's not happening. Like, it's Monique or it's nothing. And so Monique's boss is like, already like, what the hell? Monique's boss literally was like, do you know Evelyn Hugo? Like, are you friends with her? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why would Evelyn Hugo be friends with Monique? Like, what? Like, that's literally how jealous the boss was, like, from the beginning. Like, it literally makes no sense. It's like, do you think if Evelyn Hugo was my friend, do you think I would be working here? Is kind of like what I wish Monique would have told her boss. Because, like, what are you talking about? Like, she would have already been a multimillionaire doing other shit. Like, you know, like, it doesn't make sense. And so I just thought that was so weird for the boss to say that. Because, like, what? Like, if Monique knew Evelyn Hugo, like, if they were friends, like, don't you think she would not be working there? You would think that her boss was, like, smart, but apparently not. Anyways, so fast forward, Monique meets with Evelyn Hugo, and Evelyn's like, I don't have much time to live. Like, I haven't had like a photo shoot in years. I haven't spoke to the media in forever. Mind you, Evelyn's probably like 70 or 80 years old now. But she was like, I think the only way that this is going to go down is if I tell you my life story. And I promise you, by the end of me telling you my life story, you're going to hate me. You're not who I think I am, and I've done terrible things, but everyone that has lived in my story is now dead, and I am the only one left to tell it. So it has to be told. So you're either going to tell it and you're going to publish it into a novel, into a biography, or it dies with me. So that's kind of like where she left Monique with. And Monique is like, oh my God, like so excited. But she's like, what's the catch? Like, I don't get it. Like, what are you going to tell me that is going to make me hate you, blah, blah, blah. So in my head, I have no idea what it could be. I'm thinking that she did like something diabolical. Like, what could be so diabolical? And like, why does she want Monique? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? Mind you, Monique only has a mom. Her father had died. And so she kind of, when they go back and forth from the past to the present, she references like her mom and like her mom visiting her and stuff like that. And then she also has a current boyfriend that she's like, the relationship's kind of falling apart. So she's like managing that while also interviewing Evelyn. So she's interviewing Evelyn with like voice recorder tapes, and then also like writing it down afterwards for the biography, right? So Evelyn goes through every, not just like every pivotal year in her life, but like she goes through like so much. And so the book is kind of divided into chapters of her husbands. Like, why did she marry this one? Why did she marry this one? Why did she marry this one? And it just felt so real. It really felt like I was reading a biography, and I really fell in love with the characters, and I really, 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 really saw it as a movie in my head. I know I say that all the time because it's true. Like, I see most books that I read as a movie in my head. And I know a lot of people that read don't have that like visual area in their brain, but like, I don't get it. I mean, I don't get why I have it, but like, I just do. Most of the books I read, I don't think all of them, but like most of the books I read, I literally see it as a movie playing. Like I see the visuals, I can see what the characters look like. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like a gift that I have. Apparently it's a gift because apparently a lot of people don't have it. So, and apparently a lot of people don't have an inner monologue too, which is very bizarre to me because I have one. Anyways, so we see like the realities of Hollywood and how it like really drained her life. And because she starts off from the year like 1940s, like 1950s. So keep in mind, like times are very different back then. And so certain things that would be fine now were not fine at that time. One of them being the most pivotal and important thing in the book was the fact that Evelyn Hugo was in love with a woman, Celia St. James. She didn't really like her to begin with because she was kind of jealous of her. But Celia would always tell Evelyn, like, what do you mean? Like, everyone adores you. Like, you're gorgeous. Like, how, like, why would you ever think, like, there's competition between you and me? You, like, steal the show. So the jealousy that Evelyn feels for Celia is the same jealousy that Celia feels for Evelyn. So it kind of is like a match made in heaven, right? Like, they're both jealous of each other. They both want to be each other. And so what greater relationship, right? No. So basically she has to hide the fact that she loves this woman her whole life. She'll do anything. She will literally do anything to make sure that nobody finds out that she is in love with this woman. And yes, she enjoyed making love to other men. Very, very few. But yes, she did love men and did sexually like men, but she was most happiest with her. And it's interesting because I don't know, Evelyn says towards the end of the book that she was bisexual, but I don't know if she actually really was. Because I know there are people out there that, which is the case for Evelyn, I believe this is the case for her. I believe that Evelyn maybe didn't like all women, but she did like Celia. Do you see what I'm saying? So maybe she wasn't open to making love to women all the time, or like all sorts of women. Do you see what I'm saying? But Celia in particular, she was in love with. I can definitely see that making sense. And I can totally see why people would say like, well, if you like one, then that means you're gay or whatever. Like, she would technically be considered lesbian. I don't know. Like, I think she would just be considered lesbian for Celia. Do you know what I'm saying? but like not other women, if she wasn't attracted to other women. Like, I know it's crazy to believe, but I really truly believe that there are people out there that, let's say they're not into another, let's say they're not attracted to the same gender, but then someone like comes into their life where they're like, oh my God, like I have no idea why I'm attracted to you, but like I am. And I don't like anyone in my gender. So like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I totally believe that's a real thing. And I'm pretty sure there's like tons of stories like that of people's lives getting ruined because of that. But yeah, I totally think that's a real thing. Anyway, so we go through the decades and it's so freaking sad. Like, oh, these people in Hollywood in the book are so insane, but I'm not surprised at all. I actually expected them to be more insane. And literally like everything was like so fabricated and fake. Like all these relationships are like fabricated and fake. And so it's just so gut-wrenching. Like the fact that she had to hide her love for Celia, it's just so sad. And yeah, it's just like so sad, you guys. And then towards the end, like she literally staged this whole thing of like living with, she got married to, I'm not going to go through all the husbands that she got married to, but I'm just telling you like the most general thing. She got married to her gay best friend. And it reminded me of Nocturnal Animals. Have you guys seen the movie? My favorite movie ever. With Amy Adams and Jake Gyllenhaal by Tom Ford. That reminds me, I have to do a review of that movie one day. Like I will, I have to. It reminds me of how, I forgot his character's name already. Oh, Charlie Sheen. What's his name? No. Is that his name? The guy from Breaking Dawn, the guy that plays Arrow. What is his name? I forgot his name. Is that his name? Oh my God. You guys, what is his name? That actor. He is the gay husband of the lady in the movie Nocturnal Animals. And she mentions how it's not so bad to have a gay husband because it lasts longer than lust. Because love lasts longer than lust. And so that's the arrangement that they've worked out. And it just reminded me of that so much. Evelyn gets married to her gay best friend. They were literally married for 15 years, I think, she says towards the end of the novel. So they were married for like 15 years. However, she did not live with him. Celia married some other guy. And so, wait, no, that doesn't have to do with that. Wait, I'm confusing the timelines now. Celia married like another guy, and that's the guy that, whatchamacallit, that Harry was obsessed with, which is Evelyn Hugo's gay best friend. So Harry was obsessed with him. And so, yeah, I know, really bad. So Celia's husband, while she was married with that guy was hooking up with Harry, which is Evelyn Hugo's gay best friend. I know, crazy, so much drama. But anyway, so that was that. And so they were like, oh, well, if you're hooking up with him, well then why don't you just keep hooking up with him? But then Evelyn's just gonna hook up with Celia, but we're gonna say that we're all still married. It's just gonna be like the opposite of that. So Celia would be coming over to Evelyn's all the time, and then Harry would be coming over to Celia's husband's all the time. Meanwhile, they're all still married to their opposite gendered partners. I don't doubt for a second that this stuff really happens in Hollywood. So that was that. And then everybody fucking ends up dying. And Evelyn just ends up being depressed. And Evelyn ends up realizing, after having her Oscar, after having the fame and this whole lifestyle, this whole glamorous lifestyle, that none of it matters. She realizes that none of it matters. Like, after she's done all this stuff, like, she's like, wait, all I've ever wanted was not this. I was wrong. Like, all I ever wanted was a family. All I ever wanted was to be with my partner and be able to be in love with them in public and not feel shame and not feel like I'm being attacked or feel like I'm singled out or weirded out. And so luckily by the modern day now, she's like kind of able to allow that. But by that time, Celia's already dead because Celia got a disease from smoking cigarettes a lot. And so she didn't have much time to live. The last husband that Evelyn married was Celia's brother. Celia told Evelyn, I want you to have my fortune. I want you to have all my stuff. And the only way to do that is for you to marry my brother. So I want you to marry my brother. So she marries Celia's brother. And they all live in Spain. And that's like where Celia basically like dies. In Spain. I think they lived there for like a little over 10 years. And it was just so sad. It was just so sad. But the craziest part, you guys, in the book was the twist. I literally almost threw my phone across the room because I had no idea this twist was coming. And the twist is, if you don't want to read the whole book, the twist is Harry got into a car accident because he was driving drunk. He was driving drunk with his lover, his male lover. The male lover. Okay, so let me backtrack a little bit. Evelyn kind of watches this happen, or she sees the car accident. She runs up, her and her driver run up to it. Evelyn does the most despicable thing, you guys. First of all, she's about to do something freaking crazy. So she kind of bribes her driver, hey, you will never speak of this. What do you want in exchange in order for you to never speak of this about what I'm about to do? And he's like, make me famous. And she's like, okay, you got it. I know everyone. Like, she's like A-list, right? Okay. So she knows everyone, duh. So she can literally, with the type of a button, make him famous, right? And he ends up being famous, blah, blah, blah. Ends up being great in Hollywood. So just to shut his mouth. What Evelyn does is she literally takes Harry out, her gay best friend, who like unconscious in the car accident. Meanwhile, the other guy, the male lover, Harry's male lover, is dead, like fully dead. Died from the car accident. She takes Harry out of the driver's seat, places the male lover into the driver's seat, and makes it seem as if Harry was never there. I don't know how they took away all the DNA that Harry was there, but it's just a book, right? They make it seem like the male lover was driving drunk. Him, even though he wasn't. I don't know how they do it with like the autopsy report or whatever and like prove that he had no alcohol because he didn't, that only Harry did. So I don't know the logistics of that and that. Anyways, Evelyn goes, yeah, that guy that died, he was blah, blah, blah. I forgot his name already. But it was Monique's father. Girl, I literally almost threw the phone across the room. That was the part where Monique was going to hate Evelyn forever. And Monique did not see it coming. Like she like furious, like fury, like full fury. I wouldn't know how to react because her whole life, Monique thought that her father died from drunk driving. Only to come to find out that this A-list celebrity who has multi-millionaire is now telling her she fabricated her father's death. Her father died because of her best friend's drunk driving. I cannot. That was one of the biggest twists I have ever read. And I was so pissed. I was so pissed for Monique. Completely valid. I had no words. You know what's funny? Reading so many books, you feel like, okay, like there's only so many ways a story could be. I mean, I know there's an infinite amount of ways to create stories, right? Like, duh. Like, stories will just keep going on forever and ever and ever. However, as predictable as you think a story might be, I genuinely am shocked at how much I still get surprised at some things. Like, that was one thing I didn't see coming. Like, I really did not. see that coming. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that. That's the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Definitely worth the hype. A lot of books on Booktok and Booktube and Bookstagram, whatever, are not worth the hype. That one was. I get it. I get it. You guys were right on that one. Ooh, I can see that. I don't know why that's not a film yet. I don't know why that's not a film yet. I can see it doing really good. People would love it. People would eat it up. Oh, it's so good. I see it as a film in my head. So crystal clear. Yeah, go read it.